Good evening and welcome to the 627th meeting of Kolkata Toastmasters Club. So, every Toastmasters meeting have some rules to follow. First, we don't speak about sex, religion and politics in a derogatory manner. Please, as we are on a virtual platform, please keep yourselves on mute unless and until you are needed to be. You are needed to be unmuted and you have to speak on the stage. Third is that there's no prompting allowed without the prior permission of the president. So today's theme, it is very close to my heart and is very close to most of our hearts. Because ladies and gentlemen, I am that kind of a person who will work out 4 hours a day but will not go on a diet. I cannot leave food alone. I am that person who will run for an hour, but I will have that chicken biryani. So, ladies and gentlemen, food is something which I could not never control in myself. I am a big foodie, I eat whatever I wish to. And similarly, as I've gotten to know, the stand-in president for the day is also a big foodie. She also loves to eat and she also loves to cook. She is a mother of two and is the most hard-working person behind the scenes of the club. She's the VP Education of our club. Please welcome the stand-in president for the day, Toastmaster Shreya Goswami Ray.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vishesh, and a very good evening to all of you. I'm sure your stomachs are full because the next 1.5 hours will be really engaging. The minutes of the previous meeting has been mailed by our Secretary Toastmaster Devashi Pradhan, and any changes should be recommended by tomorrow evening. Otherwise, it will be counted as to be passed. Well, coming back to what Toastmaster Vishesh told just now, yeah, I am a foodie. I tried dieting many a times, only to realize fat is not that bad.
Shreya, you are not audible.
Okay, I get the network issues. And so with that, I call upon, and before that, I'm really excited about today's meeting because we have all the newbies taking roles. Over to you.
Thank you, Standing President, Madam. And a very sweet, spicy, sour, and salty evening to one and all here. Confused, is it? Okay, allow me to elaborate. 6 Baliganj Place, Arsala, Mocambo, no, Peter Cat, KFC, all have one thing in common: food. I'm sure you're missing out on your favorite food outlets this lockdown. So I thought, why not take you on a roller coaster ride this evening with the theme, utterly, butterly, delicious. Now they say that happiness and food are really highly connected. Therefore, to be happy, eat. Eat some more. Eat some more. And if you got to make really good friends, go over to their place and have good food. Remember, a person who shares his food shares his heart. So ladies and gentlemen, gear yourselves up for a brand new restaurant that we are going to inaugurate today. None other than the KTM Kitchen. I would request my tech master Deepak Baid to share the basic slide with all of us. Thank you so much, Deepak. So as you can see, the KTM kitchen, ladies and gentlemen, food, the basic necessity, especially at a time when we are fighting COVID-19, especially at a time when Cyclone Amphan has left many homeless. We need to make sure that food reaches every platter, ladies and gentlemen, and not a single person should sleep hungry any particular night. So before you can order stuff at KTM Kitchen, allow me to introduce the manager of KTM Kitchen, the general evaluator of the day. Now, when I asked him, what would be the last thing that you would like to taste, suppose the world was coming to an end? To this, he replied that he would love to have merely a cup of tea. And his school canteen is the place he is nostalgic about. He is none other than the baby corn of Kolkata Toastmasters Club, Toastmaster Anirban Datta. The stage is all yours.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Gurpreet, for that wonderful introduction. And yes, any day I would love to go back to my school canteen, not for the food, but for the memories just to do when we're at school. You know, no matter how well you think you have prepared your food, you always need someone to taste it and to let you know if it tastes good or not. And to also tell you what you need to do to make it taste even better. Just like that, in a Toastmasters meeting, a general evaluator's job is to provide valuable feedback to literally every single one who speaks today, and to also tell them which parts they did good and which parts they need to work more upon to make themselves better. But it is a very hard and a very lengthy job. So to help me, I have a team, a set of ancillary role players who will help me in doing my job. So please put your hands together for the grammarian of today's evening, Toastmaster Rahul Maheshwari.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, dear guests. Well, I'm the grammarian for the meeting, and as the grammarian, my role is to note down all the correct and the incorrect uses of grammar so that next time when the speaker comes on the podium, the language and the grammar part is completely correct. And along with the role of the grammarian, I'm also the word master of the day, and my role as the word master is to introduce one word for everyone to use in this meeting. Let me just share my screen to show the word of the day. Oh, I think only the host can share in this meeting.
You can share now. Try again.
Okay. Yeah, is the screen visible?
Yep.
Yeah, so the word of the day is serendipity. It means a happy and unexpected discovery. And an example to explain is that we all are waiting for the serendipity of the COVID-19 vaccine. Well, this is the word of the day. I will write the word in the chat box and I will present my report when I'm called upon to do so. Thank you. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rahul, for explaining your role. Now we have a timer to keep a tab of the time that the speakers use. And he is none other than Toastmaster Shaunak Pal. Over to you.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. One very important lesson to learn in the path of becoming a competent speaker, one has to deliver this thought and express it in a very specific amount of time. So my role as a timer today is to record the time of all the speakers and help them keep informed of the timing specifications, hence ensuring the meeting runs on time. To do so, I'll use the following cards. I'll show the green card at the end of the minimum time, and the yellow card at the mean time, and the red card at the maximum time. For prepared speeches, the timing is 5 to 7 minutes. For table topics, the time will be 1 to 2 minutes. And for speech evaluations, the timing will be 2 to 3 minutes. There will be a 30-second grace period on both the upper and lower end for prepared speeches and speech evaluations. However, the 30-second grace period will be only applicable on the upper end for table topic speeches. I'll present my report at the end of the meeting. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shaunak. And also keep in mind that today we're having an icebreaker. So the time limit for that is 4 to 6 minutes. Green at 4th minute, yellow at 5th, and red card at 6th minute. Right? Today we also have a wow counter for the meeting, and he's our one and only global tech master, Toastmaster Deepak Bad. Toastmaster Deepak, can you please explain your role? Am I audible? Hello?
Thank you so much, Mr. General Evaluator. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. I am wow counter for the evening, and my role is to jot down all the wow moments and tell you the top 3 moments of this evening. And I will submit my report when called upon to do so. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Deepak. Next up, we have the parliamentarian for today's evening, Toastmaster Mridula Sengupta. Toastmaster Mridula, can you please explain your role? Hello, am I audible? Can you, okay. Okay, we will come back to that. We also have a counter. He is Toastmaster Vishesh Mehra. Toastmaster Vishesh, can you please explain your role?
Good evening, one and all present here once again. So, my role as the R counter is to note down all the crutch and filler words used. So, you ask me what is a filler word? When you're eating that biryani and you get that elaichi in your mouth, which is not supposed to be there. Just like that, the filler words in the speech are the elaichis. They are not supposed to be there and they act like a roadblock. So try to reduce those filler or crutch words as much as possible. I will be noting down all these words such as so, like, but, and I will present my report when called upon to do so. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vishesh. Do you have Toastmaster Mridula here? I can see her, but she's... Okay, is there anyone who would like to take up the role of parliamentarian? Any volunteers? Anyone who is not playing a role today?
Small request, in case the parliamentarian is not available, then what can be done is the general evaluator himself can be the parliamentarian.
Okay, perfect. So let me tell you the rules of the meeting as the Sergeant-at-Arms had also described before. Please do not unmute yourself until and unless it is your turn to speak. Please do not speak about sex, religion, or politics in a derogatory manner. Please do not sit in inappropriate positions. Please refrain from writing anything inappropriate in the chat when a speaker is speaking. And I'll keep a tab that none of this done and that the meeting runs smoothly. And that's all from my side and my team. And after the speeches and the table topics, I'll be back with my general evaluation. Till then, looking forward to a delicious meeting. Over to you, Chef Toastmaster Gurpreet.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. Now, without much ado, I would like to introduce the first speaker. But before I do that, I would like to have his evaluator, Toastmaster Rishi Pransukha, to state the speech objectives.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gurpreet. The purpose of this project is for the member to introduce himself or herself to the club and learn the basic structure of the speech. Timer, please note the minimum time for the speech is 4 minutes. At the green, please show green card at the 4 minutes time, yellow card at 5 minutes, and red card at 6 minutes. I wish all the best to the speaker.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rishi. Now, the first speaker can eat sweets, sleep sweets, think sweets, drink sweets, and go to any extent for sweets. Therefore, it is risky to be sweet to him. He is accompanying his dad to the office to learn the tricks of business this lockdown. Mentored officially by Toastmaster Mayank Mohta and by Toastmaster Vishesh Mehra for this particular speech, he is our very sweet Toastmaster Tanish Agarwal with the speech titled That Experience, Toastmaster Tanish Agarwal.
Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are.
Are experiences the best teachers in life? when people used to say that you must have a plan before you start anything, that working hard is what you need to achieve it because they are the only mantra to success. I did not think that these things are so important until I had a personal experience. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. I am Tanesh Agarwal. I was born and brought up in a small city named Siliguri, located near the Darjeeling Hills. There are 4 members in my family: my mom, my dad, and my younger brother. My mom is a teacher by profession, and since childhood, everyone is like, dude, your mom is a teacher, you must be good at studies. Ladies and gentlemen, I must tell you, this is a myth, and I'm the living example of it. My father is a businessman, and my younger brother is studying in class 12. I was in class 4 studying a school named SGS Bhaktinagar, and suddenly one day my parents told me that I was going to a new school after the summer break. I was very excited about it as it was the best school in town, the Bosco School, Siliguri. But a few years later, I realized what a tragedy had happened to me. My new school was an all-boys, unlike the old co-ed school. When my schooling was almost over, I had planned to move to a new place for my college. So as the results were out, the hunt for the college began. But there were so many questions. Which city, which place? I was confused. After a lot of yes and no's, I had finally made the decision. I took admission in St. Xavier's College, Kolkata, and chose BCom Honors as my course. But this came as a double whammy for me. Yes, friends, it's an all-boys college. Leaving my parents and moving to a new place was difficult. I was alone, all by myself in a new place with new people. In the beginning, I must tell you, it was all fun and chill. But after a few days, I realized I was wasting a lot of time and I had to do something productive. But what should I do? After some introspection, I decided to take up a side course. So I took up a course called CFA. So I had registered for my level 1 in September for the exam scheduled in June 19. The month of March was here. I thought I was preparing very well for my exam and everything seemed to be going pretty smoothly. But suddenly I realized that a lot of syllabus was left and the time in hand was very less. I felt very tense and felt a lot of pressure. The pressure struck me really hard. There was a time when I had sleepless nights and this kept on happening and I felt sick. Ladies and gentlemen, I must tell you, there was a day when I could not just hold it back anymore. I was talking to my mom over phone and I started crying. I said to her, Mom, I can't take it anymore. I want to come back home. She helped me to calm down then, but a day later, I felt very sick. And so I was on the next flight back home. After I was feeling better, my parents explained to me that taking so much pressure will take me nowhere. And this is just the beginning. They told to me that if I wanted, I could skip this exam this time and maybe try next time. But I did not want to give up so easy. But the question was, what was the problem? Where did I go wrong? After some introspection and discussion with my parents, they told me maybe planning was missing. And yes, they were correct. Planning was what that was missing in my preparation. So now I had made a plan. And as I was preparing myself in according to that plan, I saw that slowly and steadily, everything started falling back in line. And I was able to complete my preparations just in time. The month of August was here and the results were out. Oh, I had completed my level 1 of CFA. What a relief it was. From this experience, I learned that planning is the key to success. If you want to achieve a goal, you must have a plan. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm 19 right now, and in this short span of 19 years, this experience has made me realize that to achieve something in life, you have to put in whatever it takes. This experience has made me believe that indeed, experiences are the best teachers in life and the road ahead is not going to be so easy. So what do you think? Which experience of yours life has made you realize that the road ahead is not going to be so easy? What do you say, Toastmaster GT? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Tanish. Can we have a virtual round of applause for Toastmaster Tanish Agarwal? And truly, Tanish, well said. All boys school. I understand your pain. I passed out from an all boys school as well. And studying in an all boys school is like a hamburger without ham, right? So moving on, if it is said that one cannot love well, one cannot sleep well, one cannot think well if one has not dined well. So without wasting any more time, I request the tech moderator to take us all to the kingdom of food. Can we have the second slide? And welcome to KTM Kitchen. I hope you have not eaten much for lunch because we start with the starters. Ladies and gentlemen, you see Reshmi kebab on your platter. It is time that you order Reshmi, an Indian word that means silk, made up of chicken, and they are delicious and often known as the Mughlai dish. Reshmi kebab gets its name from the juicy succulence of the meat added to the skewers. The meat gets its texture thanks to the marinade in which it is actually made. So ladies and gentlemen, presenting the first item of the dish, Reshmi kebab. Now I'm sure Reshmi kebab alone cannot satisfy our hunger as far as starters are concerned. So can we have the second starter on the platter, please, tech moderator? Yes, so the hara bhara kebab, right? So KTM Kitchen is a kind of kitchen where we meet the demands of all kinds of customers, from non-veg to veg. So ladies and gentlemen, if you are a vegetarian, don't feel left out because we have the hara bhara kebab, which is a vegetable patty-like snack made with the goodness of spinach and green peas. It is not only delicious, but packed with nutrition too. Not many starters offer the best of both the worlds. I'm sure you are going to enjoy it. And meanwhile, as you enjoy the starters, the second speaker is already knocking at the doors of KTM Kitchen. But before I introduce him, I would like his evaluator, Toastmaster Naren Agarwal, to state the speech objectives. Toastmaster Naren Agarwal, yeah.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gurpreet. I have a little bit of a network issue regardless. So today we have Toastmaster Keshav speaking, and Toastmaster Keshav is giving his first speech from Evaluation and Feedback project. The purpose statement of the speech is for the member to present a speech of any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback to a second speech. So basically, he has to receive the feedback and then apply it to another speech. All the best to Toastmaster Keshav. Looking forward to his speech.
Thank you, Toastmaster Naren Agarwal. Now I asked the speaker the same question that I had asked the general evaluator. Suppose the world was coming to an end, what would be the last thing that you would like to taste? To this, he replied that he would like to eat Karthik's cheese Szechuan dosa, which sells near his college. Now, mentored by distinguished Toastmaster Archita Tiwari, he is none other than the ever-smiling Toastmaster Keshav Maheshwari with his speech titled, The Third Path to Success. The Third Path to Success, Keshav Maheshwari.
Last year, when I cleared my CA intermediate examinations, the question which struck my mind was whether to specialize in any particular field like GST, direct taxation, or auditing, or to generalize in all these fields and become the jack of all trades. Good evening, everybody. I was in a dilemma. Which path is a recipe for success? The generalist path or the specialist path? So I started a research on various successful personalities. Well, Generalist versus specialist is not a new debate, and many people prior to me have faced the similar problem. Imagine a kid who starts off trying every sport possible, from skiing, wrestling, swimming, skateboarding, handball, basketball to table tennis. Did I mention tennis? Yes, that too. What would you advise such a kid? Most people would say, make up your mind. Will you? The kid I'm talking about is Roger Federer. He attributes his success to sampling all these sports. It built his athleticism and hand-eye coordination. If you ignore Mark Zuckerberg, what would be the age of the founders of the fastest growing startups? It is 45 years. Does that surprise you? Because it did surprise me for sure. Why are these entrepreneurs late specializers? From artistic creation to technical invention, having diverse experiences seem to be the key to successful career. So, does that mean the world does not need specialists? Of course not. There are areas where specialist has an advantage. Specialists do well in fields where there is one clear path to success. The likes of Sachin Tendulkar and Tiger Woods symbolizes this path of success. Early specializers may jump off to an earnings lead just after college, but later on in their life, they compensate for it by finding work that better suits their own personalities. As per the research by the Nobel laureate Daniel Kahneman, experience breeds confidence and not skill. Often, specialists do well in settings where patterns are repeated and feedback is immediate and accurate. But the world often hands out what are called wicked problems. These are settings where the rules of the games are unclear and incomplete. The patterns do not repeat and the feedback is often delayed and misleading. In such settings, the late specializers thrive because they pursue various streams in addition to a primary specialty. In fact, David Epstein, in his book Range, reiterates that the ability to connect new ideas and works across context is a key predictor to success. Maybe that is what makes entrepreneurs like Elon Musk so special. When people start working, they have to work with people who do not always agree to the ideas offered. The best ideas very often do not guarantee success. Working with people is one of those wicked challenges. It is hard to find patterns that repeat. What works with one manager might not work with the another one. A colleague who seemed amiable on one given day may turn his back and betray you on the very next day. All of us can learn from experience if the future is very much like the present. But how can we learn without experience? This, this is what learning agility is all about. This is where having a breadth of experiences is an advantage. It enables people to take ideas from one discipline and apply it on another context. So after doing this research, I was confused yet again. I asked myself, is there a third path to success? What can I do to thrive in such a world? Maybe I should not make it an either or choice between being a generalist and a specialist and start being curious, because curiosity is one of the major common traits among all the successful people. Therefore, I decided to read different materials. I decided to put those ideas into my day-to-day life. From psychedelics to polymers, there are fascinating ideas everywhere. I try out cuisines that I have never had. Maybe that curiosity led me to think what makes a chartered accountant as a professional little less effective, and made me realize that it's the lack of communication skills, and therefore led me to join Toastmasters Club. Today, as I tell you all this, somewhere deep down in my heart, I know that the future neither belongs to the specialist nor to the generalist. It belongs to the curious mind. What do you agree, Toastmasters of the day?
Thank you, Toastmaster Keshav Maheshwari. Indeed, a brilliant speech where you highlighted the necessity of experience and the application of experience from one discipline to another discipline, right? So perfectly stated, Toastmaster Keshav Maheshwari. Can we have a virtual thumbs up or applause for Toastmaster Keshav Maheshwari? Thank you. So now, it is almost said that skinny people, it is very dangerous for skinny people. They might get kidnapped at any moment. So it is always good to eat more and more. So ladies and gentlemen, it is rightly stated that those who advocate a strict diet, now this is a warning to all of them. I repeat, this is a strict warning to all those who advocate a strict diet. What you are going to witness next is purely coincidental. No resemblance to your diet is purely coincidental. Can we have Deepak Bed with the next slide of the main course? So ladies and gentlemen, now that we have digested the starters, it is time for the main course. And what you see is an international dish. So we deal not in Indian dishes, but also in international dishes. And what you see is a noodle soup laksa. And it is one of the dishes found in Southeast Asian countries, especially in countries like Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia. And it is prepared and enjoyed at hawker centers as a hearty main course. So it is one of the basic street foods that you find in these countries. I'm sure, looking at the picture itself, you must be feeling hungry. So shall I order it for you? Okay, this is not the only dish that we have. As I said, we favor both vegetarians and non-vegetarians. So moving to the next item on our main course. Can we have it? Okay, the chole bhature. Now, who does not like it? Chole bhature is a dish originating from northern India, combination of chana masala, which we call the spicy white chickpeas, and bhature. What is bhature? A fried bread made from maida, that is wheat flour. This is rather one of the dishes, vegetarian dishes that we have on our platter. So ladies and gentlemen, if you think that this is only for the non-vegetarians, no, ladies and gentlemen, we do make food for the vegetarians as well. So we cater to the needs and demands of all our clients. All our clients are very dear to us. And before we move to the third main course, which we'll not do now, we'll come back because the third speaker is already knocking at the outlet. He wants to get in. But before I introduce him, let me introduce his evaluator, Toastmaster Sumit Kumar. Toastmaster Sumit Kumar, could you please state the speech objectives?
Good evening, everyone. So Toastmaster Raghav is delivering project 3 from level 1 of his pathways. The purpose statement of this speech is for the member to learn or review basic research methods and present a well-organized, well-researched speech on any topic. All the best to the speaker, and I will present my report in the evaluations. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sumit Kumar. Now, the third speaker can go to any extent for noodles and momo. He's an excellent researcher, and his smile is as sweet as a lychee. He has been mentored by distinguished Toastmaster Siddharth Churiwal. Help me welcome Toastmaster Raghav Kedia with his speech titled, Can water be wasted? Can water be wasted? Toastmaster Raghav Kedia.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gurpreet, with that introduction. But I will say that it's rather cruel to show such lovely dishes during the time of lockdown. But nonetheless, I'm starting my speech. Okay. It was in school that we used to learn about renewable and non-renewable resources. Let me read. A renewable resource is a natural resource which will replenish to replace the portion depleted by usage and consumption, either through natural reproduction or other recurring processes in a finite amount of time in a human time scale. Easily said, a renewable resource is a resource which reproduces itself within a limited period of time. Now, water, as we all know, is a renewable resource. Then why is there so much of scarcity going around when water can never be wasted? This question was always there in my mind, which made me specifically choose this topic. The water at a place can be scarce because of two reasons. Number one is physical scarcity, which means that the quantity of water demanded at a particular region is more than the water naturally present there, which actually causes shortage. Second reason is economic scarcity. This means that despite having more water than demanded, because of a lack of investment in infrastructure for proper channeling, storing, and treatment of water, the water gets wasted, and hence there is a shortage. As per the United Nations Development Program, approximately 1/4 of the world population faces water scarcity just because of economic reason. They have a lot of water, but still they do not have a lot of water. This 1/4 of the population, 2 billion people, is roughly as equal to twice the monthly users of Instagram, which stands at 1 billion people. As per the United Nations Geological Survey, of all the water that's present around here, approx 2.5% is fresh water, from which only 30% is actually available. I mean, readily available to you. Let's take an example. Suppose you have 100 liters of water, then only 2.5 liters of fresh water is there with you. And from that, only 0.5 liters of water is actually usable, readily usable by you. But still, the 0.5% of all the water is not less. When coupled with some of the waters from other sources like river and lake, this water level is actually enough to let the current level of population thrive. But still, there is water shortage always going on in some parts of the world. Let's see how and why. One of the reasons is misplacement of water. For example, certain quantity of water needs to be stayed at point A, and that particular quantity is misplaced to point B. Then there is a shortage at point A. Nowadays, all of the cities around have very less soil exposure because everything is covered in concrete, because of which all the rainwater that we receive does not go into the ground, but it slips through the drain to the rivers and it gets misplaced. In 2015, Chennai received one of the country's worst rainfall and flood, which caused many lives and approx $14 billion in damages. But still, all those flood which was there in Chennai didn't went to the groundwater, but went to the drains, to the river, or to the sea. Second reason is fast consumption. We are using water at a rate which is much faster and much higher the rate of reproduction. It is the age of industrialization. The governments are running to provide facilities to the new industries. And in turn, they're also providing improper allotment of water to those industries. Plus, there is a very high wastage in the households in their own cities. As per a survey by the Times of India, it states that approx all the water from which Delhi's household receive 80% of the water goes either with very less waste or almost as clean as it reached there to the drain pipes without any further treatment. Chennai, India's sixth largest city's reservoirs have almost gone empty. The 2019 drought, which took place in Chennai, was just a trailer, says S. Raghavan, a NGO rain center operator. He says the movie is yet to come. He says that in 2003, when the government introduced rainwater harvesting, only 40% of the people followed it. But still, the impact was so dramatic and the condition were improving at a much faster rate. But as now the government puts no new pressure, the rainwater harvesting level has gone down and so has the water level. Excuse me. So has the water level. As per an article by the esteemed newspaper, The Diplomat states, the Chennai drought, which took place in 2019, was highly man-made and could have been easily avoidable if proper precautions were taken. In India, there are many cities which are on the same road as Chennai if proper precautions are not taken. And that's why India is one of those countries which faces the highest risk of water scarcity. In my view, the only option that we have is to increase the infrastructure spending in India and to make rigid rules, to make people follow these rigid rules to conserve water. One of the ideas which I think is excellent is introducing water tax, which is like slab rate. The more you use water, the higher you pay. The less you use, the less or no tax you pay. And as children of God, we can make our contribution in small ways by fixing leakages at our home, by identifying the areas in that we are wasting a lot of water and fixing so that we'll waste less water. We all know, there is a very popular Hindi saying, "Boond boond se sagar banta hai." This shows us the importance that every drop, we should strive to save that every drop. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Raghav Kedia. Let's have a virtual round of applause for him. Thank you for passing on such a strong message. And you remind me of a poem by Samuel Taylor Coleridge, where he says, "Water, water everywhere, but not a drop to drink." So that is exactly, we face water scarcity. We complain about water scarcity only in situations when we face a cyclone like Amphan. It's all over the news, people crying for power, people crying for water. It's only when we lack something is when we actually crave for something. Thank you for passing on this very strong message. Now, my friend Rohit called me up last year and he said he was going to gym. Now, ladies and gentlemen, my friend Rohit is somebody who can gobble up anything on this planet. And once you have him at home as a guest, you don't have to worry about the leftover foods because he leaves nothing over. So I asked him, "Rohit, are you seriously going to gym? Are you on a diet?" He said, "Come on, man. The McDonald's that I frequent these days has a cashier. The name of the cashier is Jim. And I'm seeing him these days." I said, "Oh, okay." So Rohit is just unbearable, you know. So ladies and gentlemen, without wasting more time, as I promised I would be coming up with the third list, the third item on the menu card. Deepak, Toastmaster Deepak, can we have the third item on the list? The third item, oh yes, needs no introduction, ladies and gentlemen, the mutton biryani. I give you just 10 seconds, ladies and gentlemen, to answer this in the chat box. Type what comes to your mind the moment you hear the word biryani. And I'm definitely expecting a definite answer from everybody, of course, but specifically from Toastmaster Rohan Nag. What comes to your mind? 10 seconds, ladies and gentlemen, to just type what comes to your mind when you hear the word biryani. Okay, Hyderabad, heaven. Heaven on earth. Great. Heaven. So quite a number of answers coming in. Emotion. Okay, great. That's great. So this nirvana. Okay, the masala. So that speaks enough, ladies and gentlemen. Give me it right way. Okay, Tanesh, it's coming for you. So this particular dish needs no introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, the tummy has started talking to me. Somebody says, okay, Toastmaster Arnav. So this dish needs no introduction. Jannat, Rahul says. So it is ready. It is steaming hot. And the next session, what we are going to enjoy is the table topic session. I'll serve the biryani by then. You can just listen to the table topic speakers and enjoy your biryani, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to the table topic session. The table topics master for today is somebody whom I asked again, what would be the last dish you would like to taste? Suppose the world was coming to an end. Guess what? He said, bhel muri, a sweet and spicy puffed rice. I believe often food reveals our character. And the table topics master is somewhat sweet and spicy himself, welcoming Toastmaster Rishabh Badani with the table topics session. Rishabh, the stage is all yours. So Rishabh, are you there?
I have written myself. So, am I audible right now?
Yeah, you are.
So, thank you, Toastmaster Gurpreet, for such a great introduction. Good evening, Toastmasters and dear guests. Today, I'm the tabletop master for the today's meet. Well, the most essential ingredient of a dish cannot be quantified in any recipe book. It depends on taste. Yes, thinking about in line, just like I is reflective, such impromptu sessions brings out natural clarity on the stage. So I encourage all to charge
Toastmaster, your
adrenaline
voice is really lagging.
active participation.
It's not clear. It's really laggy.
Uh,
Rishabh, are you here? We cannot hear you, neither see you.
Can everybody else turn off their camera? I think that may help him.
Hello.
Yes, Toastmaster Rishabh. Not really. Still a lot of lag there.
Hello. Then can you confirm? Hello.
Techmaster, can you please help us? Is he here? Is Toastmaster Rishabh here? I cannot see him.
He's appearing in the list, but audio is not connected. Seems like he has
Yeah, his
some
network is really low. Anyone who would like to take up? Okay, Toastmaster Rishabh is back. We still cannot hear you, Toastmaster Rishabh. I think Toastmaster Rishabh is facing a lot of technical difficulties. Is there anyone who would like to volunteer and take up Table Topic Master's role?
I can take it up.
Okay, Toastmaster Rahul.
Hold on. So Rishabh is on phone, and he's saying that he would like to conduct it through this way. Like my phone is on speaker, and I'll just tell them whoever is raising their hand, and then he will tell the topic.
Okay, perfect.
Perfect, works.
Okay, so I'm starting again once more. So good evening, Toastmasters and dear guests. Well, the most essential ingredient of a dish does not find any quantification in any recipe book. It is always as per the taste. Yes, you guessed it correct. I'm talking about the ingredient salt. On similar lines, just like adding salt is reflexive, such impromptu session brings out the natural reflection of our personality. So I encourage you all to charge your adrenaline by showing active participation in this session. Well, there are few ground rules that needs to be followed for the table topics. The speaker has to speak for 1 to 2 minutes with 30 seconds of grace on the upper end. I will repeat the topic only twice, and guests are also welcome to participate in the table topic session, and they have the option to change the topic once. Well, I will choose the speakers from the volunteers who will be raising their hands. And if no one raises their hands, then I will take the help of Deepak to choose the volunteers myself. So can we have the first volunteer?
I can see Toastmaster Rahul only, and Vishesh.
Okay, so first volunteer, I will like to choose Rahul. Toastmaster Rahul. For an ambitious mind, the hunger has a wider scope than just food. For an ambitious mind, the hunger has a wider scope than just food. Toastmaster Rahul.
When I was in school, I was a little heavy. By heavy, I don't mean fat. I was a little healthy. And I was a part of my school cricket team for 8 years. But do you know, there was one thing that lacked throughout those 8 years. That was a good physique. A physique of a sportsman. And that is why I decided. And I was a great foodie. I loved food, different kinds of food, different varieties, different cuisines, and food all the time. There were times I used to eat at least 2 times a meal, lunch 2 times and dinner 2 times. But I realized that this is not something a sportsman should do. This is not something sportsmen persevere. So I made up my mind that no matter what happens, I have to keep aside my habit for fooding a little aside and focus on my physique so that I can be a better sportsman. So after I passed out from school in the first year of my college, I decided to sacrifice the most important thing in my life, which was food. And mind you, I'm someone who doesn't think from his heart, who doesn't think from his mind, but I'm someone who thinks from his feet, thinks from his stomach. So for me, sacrificing that thing was a big thing. But I knew that what I had to achieve through my sacrifices. There's a person who had said that the easiest thing in this world is to get fat, but the toughest thing is to get slim and to get in shape. And that was my ambition towards becoming a better version of myself, towards having a better physique so that I can perform better in the ground. So that's why I kept aside my ambition, my hunger for food, and brought my hunger and my ambition for a better physique into play. And that is how I achieved a good physique and a good reputation for a good sportsmanship all through that day. Back to Table Topic Master.
Take Toastmaster Rahul. We don't earn to eat. We eat so that we can earn. And by earn, I mean respect, fame, to become a better sportsman, like Rahul said. It could be financials, etc. So now moving on to the next table topic. Can we have the volunteers?
So now we have Toastmaster Naren and Toastmaster Vishesh. Anybody else? Shreya, Toastmaster Shreya, and Toastmaster Arnav.
Toastmaster?
Toastmaster Shreya, Toastmaster Arnav, Toastmaster Naren, and Toastmaster Vishesh.
So I would like to pick Toastmaster Arnav. So the topic for you, Toastmaster Arnav, confession is good for the soul. Confession is good for the soul. Toastmaster Arnav.
Hello, am I audible? Hello.
Yes, sir, you are.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Yeah, fine. Table Topic Master, can you please repeat the topic?
Confession is good for the soul.
Okay, thank you. Confession is good for soul. Confession is good for soul. Thank you, Table Topic Master. So, from childhood, I have a good or bad habit to confess everything. Whatever I can't do, I usually confess. One day, it happens, it was my first crush to the highest ranker of my school, a girl. So I told my friends casually that I like the girl, but I don't have that guts to approach her or to say something. But I have a habit to confess everything. And one day in a function, I confessed my love, my interest towards a girl. Interestingly, I got a sharp slap from the girl in front of everyone. But everyone told me that you are very much brave because you have the habit to confess. That's fine. In my college life, also it happens once when I tried to copy someone in the exam. Although I didn't have that skill, but I tried. Later, my habit provoked me, pushed me to say the truth. And in front of all the students and the teachers, I confessed that, sir, I got a good marks, but I copied. Everyone told, oh my God, you copied, but you confessed. Interesting. Friends, confession is always good. It just emblems your true heart. But there are few points where it is better to silent, keep your mouth shut. Don't confess. Over to Table Topic Master. Thank you.
Yeah, say.
That was really excellent, Arnav. Thanks for narrating your personal stories in the table topics session. That was really a good job. And confession is a must, whether it is done face to face or indirectly. It can be about love. It can be about the mistakes that you have done. because it really lightens up your soul and release your emotions as well. Now, moving on to the next table topic. Can we have the volunteers?
Toastmaster Naren, Toastmaster Shreya.
Okay, so can we have Nareen this time? So Nareen, the topic for you is Toastmaster Nareen. Inspiration is a must. Without it, you're surely gonna rust. Inspiration is a must. Without it, you're surely gonna rust. Toastmaster Nareen.
Thank you very much, Table Topics Master. Inspiration. What do we call inspiration? We hear so many words: motivation, inspiration. But what is the difference between motivation and inspiration, and why will we rust without inspiration? Here's my take. See, motivation is when somebody comes and tells you, hey, you need to go forward, keep moving, etc. It's a push by somebody. Somebody comes and tells you what to do, and you are pushed to do it. That has its own advantages. But inspiration is something that comes from the inside. It's the purpose that you have within yourself. It's the why that makes you pull towards a bigger goal. And that's why I say inspiration is a must. The reason being, if you don't have a pull factor in life, if it's something that does not naturally draw you, life is going to be a struggle. There's going to be so much friction. But if we have something that we're inspired by, something that comes from within, something that pulls us, it's like we don't need the external force, and hence inspiration. If you don't have it, you will have rust, you will have friction. But if you have inspiration, you will be frictionless, there will be no rust, and you will pass through life just like any other thing that moves through smoothly. That's why inspiration is a must, otherwise you will rust. Thank you very much.
That was really superb, Toastmaster Nareen. Inspiration is the must needed kick for the so-called spice of life to achieve the objectives of our existence, of our life. Otherwise, our life is a waste. Now, moving on to the next table topic. Can we have the volunteers?
Toastmaster Shreya.
And anybody else? Okay, so.
No one else is raising their hand. Previously, Vishesh raised his hand.
Okay, so we will select Toastmaster Shreya. Toastmaster Shreya. Sometimes we are more into something than the thing itself. Sometimes we are more into something than the thing itself. Toastmaster Shreya.
Yeah, are you there?
Her video is stuck for me. I think we should move on to the next topic. If she comes back, she can take it up.
So anybody else wants to take it up? The topic will be different, obviously.
Can we have Toastmaster Rohan Nag or any veterans if we have?
Yeah. Toastmaster Rohan Nag, are you there? Toastmaster Mridula Sen Gupta, are you there?
Yeah, hi. Hi, good evening, everyone. Good evening. Hi, Rishabh.
Hi, Mridula.
Am I audible? Am I audible? Yeah.
Okay. The topic for you. Toastmaster Mridula. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall and had a great fall. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall and had a great fall. Toastmaster Mridula.
Okay. Thank you so much for the topic. Is it okay if I do not switch on my video because I'm facing some connectivity issues, some low bandwidth? So is it okay if I go forward with only my audio? Toastmaster Rishabh?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Okay. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't lift Humpty together, couldn't put Humpty together again. This is a common nursery rhyme which all of us have grown up hearing. And it is so relatable that even after not really going back to this particular rhyme, I could remember because this is something which is ingrained in my mind. Similarly, but then what does it actually mean? I mean, as far as I remember, it means that sometimes we believe in something, and sometimes we, in connecting with the earlier topic, that sometimes we we are more into something than the thing itself. So sometimes we are so full of one idea or one belief that we do not really understand the difference between, say, movement and progress. Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, Toastmaster Mridula, you
Yeah,
are.
I just got disconnected, I guess, for a second. I'm sorry for that. Yeah, okay. So, can I move ahead with topic? Yeah. So, So as I was saying, Humpty Dumpty had. So sometimes we are so full of one belief or one idea that we do not really understand where are we heading. So I believe that. Having said that, I would also like to say that it's very important to not sit in one place and to focus on what is laying ahead of us, to look into the future and not be procrastinate about our about what is to be done, and be more action oriented. Because if we are not action oriented and if we procrastinate and we sit for that one day, not go for that day one and make today our day one, then we are definitely going to have a big fall. Just
Master Mridula, that was a nice try. Actually, this was really a tough topic. It was actually a metaphor where the wall can be considered as sitting on a fence. It is a symbol of indecision, fears, and because of this indecisiveness, fear, people when they reach heights, they have a great fall. But then that is not the end. So once, even if you have a fall, you need and that was actually the topic about. So it was a metaphor. So thank you. So can we have another table topic? Or is Shreya Goswami back? Toastmaster Shreya.
Toastmaster Shreya, are you there?
So can we have one more round, or should I wrap up the table topic session?
It's already 8:15. I think we should move to the next section now.
Okay. So over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Rishabh. Toastmaster Rishabh. Thank you, Toastmaster Rishabh. It was
Would
indeed.
Anushka, I not a turn. Sorry for that.
Not a problem. Okay. Thank you, Toastmaster Rishabh Badani, for the variety of topics. And the variety of topics remind me of the variety in the cuisine that KTN Kitchen has to offer. And I'm sure by now you must have digested the main course. And no meal is complete without a sweet. So let's move on to the next item on the list. That is the sweet tooth. Can we have it on our screens, please? Toastmaster Deepak Bed. So ladies and gentlemen, presenting panna cotta. It is Italian for cooked cream, and it is an Italian sweet dish of sweetened cream. The cream may be aromatized with coffee, vanilla, and other flavorings. I'm sure it is a mouth-watering experience, ladies and gentlemen. Mouth-watering for the elite. Mouth-watering for people who can actually afford it. Remember that food is the ultimate pacifier, ladies and gentlemen. After a sumptuous meal, we tend to forget all differences. But if we look at the world around us, let's move on to the next slide. If we look at the world around us, as I mentioned earlier, can we have the next slide, Toastmaster Deepak? We might be divided by boundaries. We might be divided by boundaries, but then it is food, ladies and gentlemen, that unites us. When I chose this particular theme, yes, it was just to recall the favorite food outlets that we have been missing this lockdown. But there are millions who are sleeping hungry every night, especially with the problems coming one after the other. First COVID, and now Cyclone Amphan, ladies and gentlemen. So it is time. Yes, we need good food. We need to satisfy our hunger. But then at the end of the day, let us pledge that we are not going to allow anybody sleep hungry, and that food is going to fall on every platter tonight. Before I move on, can we have the next slide, Toastmaster Deepak? Don't forget to make the payments. We accept PhonePe and Paytm. Thank you, visit again. And it is now time for the general evaluator to take charge and comment on the speeches and, of course, the food. So the baby corn of Kolkata Toastmasters Club, the stage is all yours. The general evaluator of the day, Toastmaster Anirban Datta. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gurpreet. This baby corn thing is really unique. And okay, the first speaker today was Toastmaster Tanish Agarwal, and he is being evaluated by Toastmaster Rishi Pransuka. Can we please have your evaluation?
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Anirban, the general evaluator of the day. Thank you, one and all present here, and dear guests, and Toastmaster Tanish in particular. The more we speak, the more we reach. But, my dear friend, you didn't only speak and reach. The charismatic presence and taking that extra initiative to stand and deliver really paid off. It didn't look as if it was your first speech. You had done thorough research and preparation. Your wonderful quotes were mesmerizing. You had very good transitions in your speech. You spoke about your career from childhood till CFA, how it was all boys college. It had been, and that added to a bit of humor. Then throughout the speech, you had wonderful body language. You were constantly looking at the camera. Your flow of hands were majestic. You had good vocal variety and were going at a very good pace. And it was commendable. Every step that you took had an appeal and a reason. Your story of level 1 of CFA was very inspiring to me. So these were something on the positive front. However, every speech has few areas of recommendations, and here are my few recommendations for you today. First is, I would have loved to hear that why did you join Toastmasters? What made you join the Toastmasters? What objective you had in mind to join the Toastmasters? And then I would have loved to hear a line or two more about your family members. If you have any siblings, what are they doing? And then I also have to like to hear about what you like. What are your passion? What is your hobby? What you love to do? And how do you pass your time generally? And then and all in all, it was a wonderful speech. I really look forward to your speeches in the future. It was a mesmerizing, thrilling, and out of the world speech, and never seen such good speeches at the very beginning of their journey. So I wish you all the best and keep it up. Over to you, Toastmaster Anirban.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rishi, for a compact evaluation. One point of feedback for you would be it could have been a bit more structured, and maybe you could summarize the entire evaluation in the end with a line or two, without instead of just saying it was a wonderful speech and look forward to see you again. Just a bit of summarization, because you also had a couple, like time. It was only the green card was up. And Toastmaster Tanish, a huge congratulations to you on taking the first step on becoming a great public speaker. It really was one of the best icebreakers I had ever heard. It did not look that you were speaking on the stage for the first time. You were confident, you had good voice modulation, good facial expressions, you shared a lot of stories, you used a prop, you used your mobile phone as a prop, you talked about personal experiences. It was a very entertaining speech. One point of feedback for you would be most of the time your hand were like stuck like this, close to your body. So I would recommend to like be free, be more of you, be confident. See, I cannot be free because I'm sitting right here, but you took the extra effort to stand so that you had a lot of stage space, right? So you could have used a hand movement a bit better. But that was a great speech and well done. Guys, can we have a huge round of applause for both Toastmaster Tanish and Toastmaster Rishi? Moving on. Our second speaker today was Toastmaster Keshav Maheshwari, and he is being evaluated by Toastmaster Naren Agarwal. Can we please have your evaluation?
Yes, thank you, General Evaluator, and specifically Toastmaster Keshav for a wonderful speech. Thank you so much. I loved your speech. The reason being, it was so relevant for me at the same time, I think, for the Toastmasters community, because what you talked about was success and leadership, and that's something that we share in common. Everybody who's a Toastmaster, I think, somewhere or the other, they have a desire to be successful and have a leadership-like quality, which your speech was hitting right on. So moving on with the specific evaluation for your speech. There were a couple of things that I loved about your speech, and that kept me very engaged. Point number one was that you had good gestures. You were using your hands. There was an instance in your speech when you talked about hand-eye coordination, and you used a gesture like this, a cricket bat gesture that we commonly use. So that was very nice and innovative use of the camera space that you had. Also, I loved how your speech flowed. For me as a listener, it was so systematic. You talked about the generalists, you talked about the specialists, and then you talked about the third way of success, which was the title of your speech, the third path to success. And the way it flowed, it was very seamless, very easy to understand, and I love that. Having said that, there are a couple of things that I think you could work on. Number one being eye contact. I know it's a little tougher, but I think you were looking at the screen a lot, which made me not feel so connected with you. But if you looked at the camera, which can be awkward, but I think it enhances the connection level when doing an online speech, an online meeting. So I think that's something that you could work on. Another thing is that when you talked about the third path, when you discovered curiosity as your path to success, I think you could have showed a little more emotion, a little more elation. So you could have used tonality at the same time expression to show that you had this sense of discovery. You discovered the third path, and that would bring the title of the speech back with more energy for the people. So having said that, to summarize, you had great gestures. You were very good with gestures online. You had a great speech flow. A couple things you could work on would be eye contact and expression during momentous parts of your speech. Last thing, to challenge yourself, what you could do is, I think, add a quote or an example as to why curiosity is the third part to success, because you had great examples showing generalists and specialists, but that's something you could do to add an extra notch to your speech. Overall, great speech. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Keshav.
Thank you, Toastmaster Naren, for such a wonderful evaluation. You almost covered all of the points, but I do have a point of feedback recommendation for Toastmaster Keshav. It's a bit technical one. I believe you could have placed your camera a bit better, because we were only able to see up till your chin, and most of your hand movements were like below the camera, so we really weren't able to see it. So maybe you could work on that. Now, the third speaker for today was Toastmaster Raghav Kedia, and he is being evaluated by Toastmaster Sumit Kumar. Toastmaster Sumit, can we please have your evaluation?
Hello, am I audible? And very thoughtful and energetic Toastmaster Raghav in particular. Water is driving force of all the nature. Today, your speech reminded me of this line. Your speech was full of facts, information, and learnings. So your speech really helped me to think and concern about the value of water that we drink every day, and we all need water to survive. Now, coming to your speech, first thing first, your opening was bang on. You defined renewable resources and showed how renewable resources cannot be destroyed, and also created a dilemma. Since water is the renewable resources, how can it be wasted? That was something done very well. Number two is you defined the reasons for scarcity of water, like physical scarcity, and how much the economic scarcity is impacting the people of the different countries regarding the scarcity of water. Your quote, they have a lot of water, still they do not have a lot of water, reminded me of a quote from a poem, Ancient Mariner. Water, water everywhere, nor any water, nor a drop to drink. That quote of yours reminded me of this quote, and it really struck me hard. This shows the level of research you have done in your speech. Your research was to the point, but as said, the biggest room for improvement in any speech, biggest room is room for improvement in any speech. So here are some.
Sumit, your microphone is mute.
Okay, so I will start. Now the first point of improvement is your speech was full of facts, and sometimes when you have so much of information, it sometimes becomes monotonous for the audience to grab so much of information at once. So what could have done to make things better? That you could have add personal stories on how you saved water at a given point of time, or how you influenced other people to save water more. This way you can bring up the facts along with the personal stories and along with your own opinions, like you talked about water task on the measure of improvement of conservation of water. That is something well done. And there is one more point. Since your project's objective was research and presentation, your research was done and it was very awesome, but what lacking was presentation. If you could have presented your facts in a PowerPoint presentation, it could be more interacting and more interacting for the audience who are watching you speak. And number three is when you are speaking on a virtual podium, like the Toastmaster Naren said, you should always look at the camera. In all, if I want to summarize your speech was informative, intriguing, with little of visuals and personal stories. You can do wonders. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sumit, for a wonderful evaluation. That there were some good recommendations and commendations. One point of feedback for you would be, like I was saying, that you were kind of coming back and forth, back and forth. I don't really know why you were doing that, but you shouldn't. You should avoid doing that. Like sit still or stand still. And Toastmaster Raghav, I agree with Toastmaster Sumit that somehow I felt that your speech was kind of bloated with information. You had a lot of information, lot of examples. You stated a lot of reasons of problems, and then you stated a lot of solutions. So I believe you could have really worked on the compactness of the speech, because in 7 minutes for hearing your speech for the first time, I really don't think that the audience will remember everything that you have said, right? So really work on the compactness of the speech. Now, moving on to the table topic section. There, it was indeed a great table topic section instead of all of the technical glitches that we were facing. The first speaker was Toastmaster Rahul. Toastmaster Rahul, you had a good start. Your speech was well structured, though your ending was a bit abrupt, but I believe overall it was a great speech. You have been taking part in table topics so frequently nowadays, and it's really good to see you improving. So keep that up. Now, Toastmaster Arnab, your topic was confession is good for the soul. You started well. You had good take. You shared examples. You shared 2 examples, if I'm not wrong. Though all in all, it was a great speech, great table topic speech. But I believe in the beginning you repeated the topic twice. I'm not sure why you did that. Nowadays people always say that, am I audible, before like jumping onto their content. That's admittable, because some people usually face technical difficulties, but you didn't really need to repeat your topic twice. You could have really jumped on your content from the beginning. Next was Toastmaster Shreya, but for unfortunate circumstances, we couldn't hear her. The last table topic speaker for today was Toastmaster Mridula, with the topic Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall and had a good fall. Now, to be very honest, the moment I heard this topic, I was thinking that if I were given this topic, what would I say? Because I have literally no idea what this means. But Toastmaster Mridula, I commend you on the take that you had. You even completed the poem. I'm just wondered by the fact that you remembered the poem. So that's a great job done. Can we have a huge round of applause for all the table topic speakers today? Now, quickly, I would request all of my ancillary role players to please submit their reports. Then I'll move on to my general evaluation of the meeting. Starting with Toastmaster Rahul as the grammarian.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. Well, Kali dal is my favorite dish, and it becomes so much more tasty with the tadka in it. So, ladies and gentlemen, good grammar is that tadka in a speech. And today, that tadka will deliver the thought. This is a myth, and I'm a living example of it. Knocking the door of KTM Kitchen, jack of all trades. There's going to be so much friction. Inspiration is a much needed kick. The way it flowed was very seamless. You could have showed elation and tonality and momentous part of your speech. There were a few incorrect uses of grammar as well, which could have been improved. Which was I feel sick. It should have been I felt sick. So I mean I feel sick is right, but at the moment of that speech, I felt sick could have been the correct usage. With that lovely introduction, should have been for that lovely introduction. I got a good marks. It should have been I got good marks. And the last one is it is better silent, which should have been it is better to be silent. Unfortunately, the word of the day wasn't used by any of the speakers, but I have a very good advice for you. That is to follow your gut, because I didn't know what the theme was, but initially I had planned to keep the word of the day as scrumptious, which meant extremely delicious and a more seller dish. And it would have been such a great coincidence if I would have had that word for the meeting. But nevertheless, I think it was a great meeting by the Toastmaster of the day. And that's all from my side. Thank you. And back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rahul. Now, can we have the timers report? The timer for today was Toastmaster Shaunak.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. All speakers are qualified and hence eligible for voting. That's all from my side. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shaunak. Toastmaster Vishesh was the R counter today. Toastmaster Vishesh, can we have your report?
Good evening once again present here. Filler words are clutch words which shouldn't be there, which look out of place, just like Toastmaster Rahul's new hairstyle. Well, moving on, in today's meeting, Toastmaster Anirban had multiple R's and many likes. Toastmaster Gurpreet was flawless. Toastmaster Tanish had Toastmaster Tanish was flawless. Toastmaster Keshav had 2 R's and 2 likes. Toastmaster Sumit had multiple R's and multiple so's. Toastmaster Raghav had 3 R's and 2 ands. Then Toastmaster Mridula had multiple R's. Toastmaster Naren had 1 like, 1 so. That's it from my side. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vishesh. Toastmaster Deepak Bed was the war counter for today. Can we have your report, Toastmaster Deepak?
Evaluator. Good evening, everyone, once again. The top 3 wow moments were starting with Toastmaster Raghav's eye-opening research. That was really good. I liked the way today's table topic session was conducted, even though we have a lot of network issues right now in the town, but still it was a really different and innovative way that was conducted today. And first was, of course, Gurpreet's mouth-watering presentation. I would also like to request our president and treasurer to make some arrangement and get this menu on KTM's table for real. Thank you, and over to you.
For sure. Yes, we'll have that.
Thank you, Toastmaster Deepak. The last role play for today was Toastmaster Mridula. She was the parliamentarian. Toastmaster.
Yes, hi. Yeah, hi. Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. And as the parliamentarian of the day, I would like to say that all the parliamentary rules were followed. I would like to encourage speakers to, give a virtual round of applause as and when the speaker exits the virtual podium. Apart from that, kudos to the entire team today, all the role players and the speakers for being resilient in these times of adversity. So yes, thank you, and back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mridula. Though there were a lot of technical difficulties, but truly today, thank you, Toastmaster Deepak, for taking care of all of the, moderating stuff. Now, starting my general evaluation of the meeting, the stand-in Sergeant-at-Arms of our meeting today was Toastmaster Vishesh Mehra. Though we start a bit late, but it's really okay because a lot of people were facing technical difficulties in logging in. You explained all the rules carefully. You had a good take on the topic. You had a good introduction for the president. So great job done. Coming up, our stand-in president for today, Toastmaster Shreya Goswami Day. You also had a good take on the topic. You introduced the Toastmaster of the day well. You also reminded everyone to go through the minutes of the meeting. So a good job done there. Now, our MC, the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Gurpreet. Wonderful content. I really loved your slides. One point of recommendation for you would be, I would have really liked if somehow you could have connected 3 parts of your theme to the 3 parts of the meeting in general. Like prepare speeches, they require a lot of preparation. Table topics, they are like challenges in life that we need to face, or we need to face our fears, and evaluation is just feedback, compact feedback. So I really would have liked if you could have done there. And great, you made all of us hungry. And the next day we meet, you need to really take care of what Toastmaster Deepak said. Coming up next, the table topic master, Toastmaster Rishabh. Toastmaster Rishabh, kudos to your effort. Though you got disconnected, but the way you conducted the entire table topic section, it was really commendable. One point of feedback for you would be, some of your table topics were too long. When you said, sometimes we are more into something than the thing itself, or when you said inspiration is a must, without it you are surely gonna rust. You need to think that whenever the table topic speaker hears the topic for the first time, in a couple of seconds, 3 to 4 seconds, he needs to go through the entire topic in his mind, and he really needs to be quick with and be ready with a speech. And these kinds of long topics take more time. So that's why in competitions as well, the topics are usually shorter. So maybe you could work on that. But great job and great effort. Kudos to that. Over and all, though we had a lot of technical difficulties, but thanks to each and every single role player, our tech master, for making sure that we could run this meeting as smooth as possible. It was a delicious meeting, it's for sure, and I'm sure we all are hungry. So over to you, Toastmaster Gurpreet.
Yeah, thank you, General Evaluator. And after this delicious meeting, I surely hope that when we meet after the lockdown, the president, the standing president, as well as the president of Kolkata Toastmasters Club and the area director, Toastmaster Rohan Nag, is going to take care of all this. And there are a lot of, pending treats that are there. So we hope we get that very soon. So without wasting much time, we are facing a lot of connectivity issues. I hand it back to the standing president of the day, Toastmaster Shreya Goswami.
I think Toastmaster Shreya is not being able to log in again. She has logged out. She isn't in the list.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. So I would want to take this opportunity to for joining us today. Um, First of all, I would like to request for the guest feedback from Toastmaster Arnab. Toastmaster Arnab, can you please unmute yourself and share your feedback about the meeting and what you liked about the meeting?
Hi, voting link.
Yes. And Toastmaster Anirban? In the meantime, can you please float the voting link for all the members to vote for the guest speakers? Do we have Toastmaster Arnab here?
Hello.
Yeah, hi.
Hello. Yeah, fine.
Yes, hi Toastmaster Arnab. Thank you for joining us. So did you like the meeting? Could you please share your feedback about our meeting?
Sure. First of all my Toastmaster friends, dear guests, this is the first time I'm here. And yeah, it is a gift of lockdown, I would say. So that a person from Hyderabad is sitting here and experiencing the meeting in Kolkata. And basically, I'm very much interested since I am Bengali and I'm basically from Kolkata. And I had a wish to join the Kolkata Toastmaster clubs and City of Joy Toastmaster clubs and other. I've seen a lot. So now, yeah, the dream has come and dream is there and now I'm there. So first of all, let me tell you a few things about the meeting, what I have loved it. The first thing is Gurpreet, you are awesome, man, today. Such a wonderful topic, and the way you took the topic, the way you designed the topic, it's awesome. It's awesome. And really, I'm hungry. I told already that my tummy is talking to me a lot. So it's a bit disturbing to me because the tummy started talking. The second thing, table topic master, the speakers. I'd say the first, what Rishi, evaluator Rishi said about the icebreaker speech. Icebreaker speaker, I couldn't get that you were the first time you were on the stage. You're awesome. And I love the way you manifest your emotions. It was really wonderful. A lot of conversations are there in the speech, which just made the speech to another dimension. Just one small recommendation to my dear friend, that I would expect when you use a conversation in your speech, I would expect a bit voice modulation in your speech, which is, I think it will come slowly, because the characters, the different characters which you are showing in your speech. So it's bit voice modulation would have been better, or else you are awesome. You are simply awesome. The second speaker is also wonderful. The third speaker, yeah, it could have been a bit constructive in the case, since it's a statistics. The project objective is a statistics, so you have done a lot of things. I'd recommend you one thing, that you could have used infographics. Through infographics, you could show your statistics. I think it could have been a better way. The table topic session is itself a very wonderful, it's a delicious, like the TMOD's subjects. One thing what general evaluator already mentioned, I'm reiterating that, yeah, the topics could have been small, so it could have been easy for us to memorize. The evaluation was awesome. Overall, I have seen the first time the parliamentarian, which we have not seen in our club. So it's the first thing. And overall, the meeting was superb, amazing. And let me tell you a few things about me. I am Toastmaster Arnab. I am from Secunderabad Toastmaster Club. It is under District 98 in Hyderabad. So the first time in the Kolkata Toastmaster Club, it's a wonderful meeting. And I have been associated in the Toastmaster for last 2 years. And it is one of my great day to witness this wonderful meeting. Thanks a lot. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Arnab. We also have a couple of guests with us. Do we have Toastmaster Pratiti and Toastmaster Anasua? Do we have you with us? Can you please unmute yourself and confirm?
This is Anushwa. I'm there in the call.
Yeah, Anusha. Hi. Thank you so much for joining us today. So,
Thank you so much.
what is your feedback about the meeting, or did you like the meeting? Would you like to attend future sessions? We would love to.
Yeah, so this is my third meeting with Toastmasters, and I'm really looking forward to attend once again. I have been shared the details in the previous one, and because of the technical glitch we faced due to the recent cyclone, I wasn't able to apply. But
yeah, hi, Anusha.
Hello.
Hello. Yes, you are audible. Please go on.
Okay, so
yes, Anusha, you are audible.
So I'll be joining the further meetings once again, and it was a great experience. Let me tell you, hearing out people, hearing out their stories, and getting inspired and as well as enthusiastic with the way you people are conducting yourself. So looking forward to joining you people. Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, Anuswa, and I hope the voting links are ready.
Toastmaster Deepak, can you please help us with that?
Toastmaster Anirban, can you please Toastmaster? Yes, so as the voting links are being floated, I would request all the members to kindly vote on the link. Yeah, so we have a poll over here. So quickly can we request everybody to okay. So thank you, everybody. I hope everybody has voted. Everyone has voted. So thank you, everyone, for joining us today. And yes, Deepak, are you saying something?
No, yeah. Nearly everybody have voted.
Okay. So thank you, everyone. The results will be announced in the WhatsApp group. And thank you. Yeah, so we have the results here. So congratulations, Toastmaster Tanish, for being the best speaker on your icebreaker speech. Wonderful achievement. This is the first step of your Toastmasters journey, and kudos to you for giving your best and looking forward to your future speeches. Great job to Toastmaster Keshav and Toastmaster Raghav. Looking forward to your future speeches as well. So the best evaluator of the evening is Toastmaster Naren. Can we have a huge round of virtual applause for Toastmaster Naren? And looking forward to your future evaluations as well. The best role player among the categories of the best major role player among the categories of Toastmaster of the Day, the General Evaluator, and the Table Topic Master is hands down Toastmaster Gurpreet, who showed us wonderful food and is going to treat us to lots of wonderful food, lots of amazing, yummy, delicious food after the lockdown gets over. So Toastmaster Gurpreet, all of us are looking forward to a treat. And Toastmaster Rishabh, kudos to you for being so resilient and bouncing back in spite of the adversaries, in spite of the difficulties which you faced. Toastmaster Anirban, thank you for taking up the role of the General Evaluator. You did a great job. So the best role player among the grammarian, R-counter, timer, wow counter, and parliamentarian is Toastmaster Rahul, who introduced us to the word serendipity. So thank you for helping us understand a new word, and hope we'll all be using this wonderful word in the future as well. So the best table topic speaker is okay. So it is a tough competition, and the best table topic speaker goes to Toastmaster Naren Agarwal again. So Toastmaster Naren, can we have a huge round of applause for Toastmaster Naren? Thank you, everyone, for joining us today, and hope to see all of you in our future meeting on Thursday, Same place, same time. The Zoom link will be shared with all of you in the groups as well as in our social media platforms. Thank you for joining us and good night.